So I'm currently behind the wheel of the 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz, and I'm going to showcase the interior of this thing. So starting as I normally do from left to right. Over on the left, you've got window switches, door locks, door latch. To the right of that, you've got a button for the dim level of the gauge cluster. You've got a button for the light in the back trunk bed, and traction control off. This also features Bose speakers throughout, and I'll showcase that better when I go to the passenger door. Up to the gauge cluster, it is a full crisp clear digital display, 10 inches. It can be switched between different themes based on the drive modes, or you can also pick it through the setting menu. So right now it's in sport. If you go to normal, smart, and snow is basically the same as smart. You can also kind of lock it in a sport theme if you go in the settings. In the middle, you've got multiple pages. So starting all the way on the left, you've got attention level and just a setting screen. Middle, you've got miles per hour, accumulated info, miles since refueling, and drive info. And you've got navigation-like screen if you are not, if you have not set any sort of destination in the nav menu. It'll just display a compass. And then an information screen. So these little bars next to each wheel will progress depending on how much power is going to each wheel. Currently sitting, obviously there's no power going to any wheel, but if you can imagine when you start taking off, which I can do for a moment. I hate driving and filming. There you go. You see the little blue dials begin popping up. And tire pressures on this screen as well. You can see right there down low is where it also displays what mode you're in. So normal, it doesn't get anything. Sport, smart, and snow are all illuminated right there. And obviously if you do not disable the option in the settings, the display will completely drastically change based on what drive mode you're in. Moving back to the steering wheel, how I was adjusting basically everything up on that screen. Right here is a page button that goes between the 4 different pages in the middle. And up and down right here on this OK is how I was selecting up and down on those pages. You also have cruise control over here. You got lane assist. This button helps you determine the distance between the car in front of you for the active cruise control. Over on the left, you got phone, favorites, volume, tuner knob, talk, and a mode button. On the back of the steering wheel for the dual clutch transmission, you have the down gear and up gear paddles. Behind the steering wheel is the engine start stop button. Then you also have a 10-inch navigation display. So this is kind of like the home screensaver screen, showcasing what the temperature is, what you're currently listening to, and kind of a graphic representation of where you are on a map. Swiping over to the left brings you basically to the app screen. So you got map, navigation menu, phone, phone projection, voice memo, climate, which you can see what the HVAC system, which you can clearly see below, is also up top. Valet mode, quiet mode, HD radio data, radio, media setup. So in setup, you have vehicle navigation, sound, device connections, user profile, voice recognition, display, button, blue link in general. So let's just go into vehicle to showcase some of the things you can change. So you have all your driver assistance screens or options that you can change. In the cluster, this is where I was mentioning about the theme. So if you select theme, you can uncheck link to drive mode. So there's an interesting cube theme that's kind of hidden here, and it's displayed like that. We also have Classic A, Classic B, and Classic C. The cube is one that is not accessible from the drive modes, but as you can see, I'm in sport, but I have this cube. But if I hit link to drive modes, it kicks you back into that. You can adjust other things such as climate, seat, lights, door, digital key. You can enable digital keys, convenience to let you know if you want if you open the rear doors to remind you there might be somebody back there. General tells you all the system information on the vehicle. You can customize based on the user. You also have Blue Link notifications and the user manual. Below that, you've got touch buttons that will quickly get you into certain apps. So obviously an off button, you got volume control up and down, map, nav, favorites, seek and track button, radio, media, and setup. Now these are all touch sensitive, so for example, if I want to quickly go radio, there you are. Below that, you have the HVAC system of the car. So you have the temperature on both sides, auto, off, and as well the circulation, fan controls, and they all digitally display right here. Below that, tucked in the back, you have a USB port. You've got a 12-volt smoker's plug, as I say. This is not a button, but there is a charging pad right here for a phone. Should you put a phone here to charge, a little light will illuminate right here. And then another USB port. This is a nice little cubby hole across the phone charger. Then you have the gear shifter. So this is a dual clutch transmission, but it has park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And should you want to select your own gears, just knock it over and you can select your gears. And like I first showed, you can also do so on the back of the steering wheel. Let's put it back in park. Behind the gear shifter, you have a drive mode selector. So this is how I was flipping through the different drive modes. There's 4 of them, and you just simply flick it up and down to get through them. To the left, you've got the all-wheel drive lock button and the auto hold button. To the right, you've got hill descent and a parking camera button. So push this, and you get different views throughout the vehicle that you can switch between. Give you a view of the bed. Push it again, and it disappears. Has a parking brake latch right here. 2 cup holders. You have ventilated, heated, and a heated steering wheel for the driver. Passenger gets heated and ventilated seats as well. 3 different levels for both. Center console, push it. Opens up. There are no ports hidden in here, but it's a nice amount of space. You got a glove box. You can kind of see the Bose speakers that I first mentioned. Give you a better look at the passenger door. The seats. The rear seats. Give you a little peek at the bed back there. This vehicle features a sunroof for the driver and the passenger, which controls our up top front along with lighting controls. But that is pretty much the interior of the 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz. If there's a feature I didn't go in depth enough on and you want some questions answered, be sure to leave a comment below and I'd love to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.